Have you ever looked in the mirror and asked, why do women ignore the nice guy? Why do they chase the calm, unbothered one? What if the secret isn't in being louder, but stiller, stronger in silence? In a world full of noise, women crave the man who owns his presence, who speaks volumes without saying a word. Today, I'll reveal 9 life-changing social skills backed by Stoicism that make women feel you on a deeper level. If you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting, stay with me till the end. This isn't a game, this is power. This is real masculinity. 1. Unshakable presence. Have you ever been in a room where a man walks in and says nothing, but every head turns? He's not the loudest, not the most handsome, yet he holds the kind of presence that commands attention without demanding it. That's called unshakable presence, and it's magnetic, especially to women. But what is presence? It's not just standing tall or having good posture. Presence is your energy, your internal calm, the way you own your space without trying to dominate it. Women are biologically wired to feel presence. It speaks directly to the limbic part of the brain that processes emotion and attraction. Studies in psychology show that over 55% of communication is nonverbal, and what you don't say often impacts more than what you do. Women in particular are more sensitive to energy and body language than men. They pick up on microsignals. Your presence tells her everything she needs to know before you even say hello. A man with an unshakable presence doesn't fidget. He doesn't look desperate for attention. He's calm, grounded. He radiates safety and certainty. And those are irresistible traits for a woman's emotional brain. So if you want to be the man that women remember long after the conversation ends, start here. Learn to slow down, breathe deeply, and be fully in the moment. Drop the phone, drop the distractions, and own the room with your stillness. Have you ever felt invisible, like no one even notices when you're around? Maybe it's not your looks. Maybe it's your presence. Let me know in the comments what you think makes a man truly noticeable. If this resonates with you, like the video and subscribe. This is just the beginning. Let's now step into the second skill, a subtle yet devastatingly powerful trait, controlled eye contact. 2. Controlled eye contact. Now think, have you ever looked into someone's eyes and felt like they could see your soul? That's not poetry, that's neuroscience. Eye contact is one of the most intimate forms of human connection. According to a study published in the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior, eye contact lasting just 2 to 3 seconds can increase emotional arousal significantly. And for women who tend to connect emotionally before physically, eye contact can be the very first spark of addiction. But it's not just any eye contact, it's controlled. This means you don't stare like a creep. You don't look away nervously either. You hold eye contact just long enough to anchor your presence, then break it calmly to show emotional intelligence. It's a dance between power and softness. Women subconsciously interpret strong eye contact as confidence and honesty. They interpret darting eyes as anxiety or deception. And when a man combines steady eye contact with a calm facial expression and a grounded posture, the effect is incredibly attractive. Why? Because eye contact activates the dopaminergic reward system in the brain. That's the same system triggered when someone feels pleasure, validation, or an emotional high. So yes, your eyes can make her feel addicted. Here's a tip. When you speak, look into one eye, not both, not at her lips, not at her forehead. Stay present, stay focused. And when she's speaking, hold her gaze just long enough to show her you're fully listening, then soften your eyes as you react. Next, here's where things get intense, is confident stillness. Third, confident stillness. It is not just about movement, it's about mastery of emotion. And when you combine this with the first 2 skills, you enter a whole new league. We live in a world of nervous energy, tapping phones, bouncing knees, shifting postures. Most men don't even realize they leak insecurity with every twitch. But the man who is still, who can just be, radiates something ancient and primal. Stillness says, I am not rushed, I am not afraid, I am in control. And women? They feel that. A recent behavioral study by Harvard revealed that still, Composed body language increases perceived dominance by over 38%. But here's the catch. This dominance is not about aggression. It's about being so secure in yourself that you don't need to perform. Imagine this. You're sitting across from a woman. She's testing you, emotionally teasing, maybe even pushing your buttons. Most men would react, laugh nervously, over-explain, and defend themselves. But you stay still. You breathe. You smile slightly. You hold the silence. That moment of tension and control makes her lean in. Because now, you've become the mystery. Stillness gives space for curiosity. It draws her in. And guess what? Stillness doesn't just make you seem confident, it reinforces confidence within your brain. Neurologically, when you control your body, your prefrontal cortex takes the lead, reducing anxiety and impulsivity. That's real stoicism in action. Want to practice this? Start by pausing before you respond. Let there be a 2 to 3 second gap. Get comfortable with silence. Let her fill the space. That's not weakness, it's power. So let me ask, do you struggle with over-talking or reacting too fast in conversations? How would it feel to be the one who creates calm while everyone else rushes to speak? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. Next, we will explore something powerful, a social skill most men overlook, but it silently magnetizes women to you without saying a word. 4. Purposeful silence. In a world that's addicted to noise, the man who knows when to stay silent becomes mysterious, attractive, and unforgettable. This isn't about being shy or withdrawn. It's about knowing when not to speak and letting your energy, your body language, and your intent fill the space. Purposeful silence means you don't chase words to impress her. You let your presence speak. A confident pause after she says something, a moment of eye contact without rushing to respond. It tells her something no loud pickup line ever could. I'm in control of myself. Research shows that over 60% of communication is nonverbal. That means your words are only a fraction of what she feels. Silence, when used right, becomes your greatest tool. So ask yourself, are you filling the silence because you're nervous? Or are you letting it sit because you're calm? In psychology, this is called dominance through space. Women are biologically wired to be drawn to men who are not emotionally needy, those who can handle tension without breaking it. Imagine this. You're sitting across from her. She's speaking. You lean back slightly, hold eye contact, and say nothing. Not out of awkwardness, but intentional poise. In that silence, she wonders, what is he thinking? Why isn't he reacting like the others? If you've ever wondered why the mysterious, emotionally grounded men always have women leaning in, this is why. If you're finding this insightful, drop a comment. What's your biggest struggle when it comes to staying silent in conversation? And don't forget to like and subscribe if this is waking something real inside you. Now let's move to something equally rare, but unbelievably powerful. 5. Calm reactions. The way you react under pressure reveals more about your masculinity than anything you say. Women are extremely sensitive to emotional fluctuations. Your ability to remain calm in chaos is what makes her feel safe, protected, and drawn to you. Think about it. When something goes wrong, maybe she tests you with a sarcastic comment, maybe someone cuts in line, maybe your boss disrespects you. How do you respond? Do you explode, defend, panic, or stay centered? This isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about mastering them. That's Stoicism. It's the art of emotional self-regulation, and it's what 82% of women in a recent social psychology study identified as the #1 sign of emotional strength in men. Here's a truth most men never hear. Women will test you, not out of malice, but because it tells them who you are. And the man who stays calm, who doesn't emotionally flinch, shows her that he's the anchor in the storm, not the one swept away by waves. Imagine she says something passive-aggressive or intentionally challenging. Most guys would overreact, get defensive, or try too hard to explain themselves. But you breathe, you pause, you smirk. Maybe you can change the subject. You've just passed a subconscious test of strength, and that burns into her memory. If you've ever lost someone's interest after a small argument or emotional reaction, now you know why. So ask yourself honestly, how do I usually react when I feel emotionally threatened? If you want to become magnetic, learn to observe your emotions without becoming your emotions. That's what makes her trust you. That's what makes her crave being around your grounded energy. If this resonates, tell me in the comments, what moment in your life tested your calm the most? And if you're gaining value here, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content like this. This next point is subtle, but it can completely flip the way women perceive you. 6. Selective attention. We often think women want attention, but what they want is valuable attention. The kind of attention that isn't thrown at everyone. The kind that is earned. This is what separates average men from high-value men. You see, when you give your attention too freely, constantly texting, complimenting, or reacting to everything she says, you dilute your power. You tell her, I don't have standards. You don't have to earn me. But when you're selective, when you notice the right things, when you observe without rushing to praise, when you give attention like a gift, not a default, you become unforgettable. According to relationship psychologist Dr. Mary Lamia, scarcity breeds value. People, especially women, respond more deeply to attention that feels exclusive. When your attention isn't always available, it becomes more meaningful. That's human psychology. And here's the twist. Selective attention isn't just about what you give, it's about what you withhold. You don't need to respond to every message instantly. You don't need to validate every move. You train her to value your focus because it's rare and refined. Want to see how this works in real life? Think of the last time someone important gave you their full attention. Completely present, no distractions. You felt seen, right? Now imagine she feels that from you, but only when you choose to give it. That's emotional impact. And here's the kicker. Women will start chasing that feeling again and again. Why? Because most men are thirsty for their attention. You're different. You choose. You discern. That's power. If this strikes something in you, let me know. Are you someone who gives too much attention, or are you learning to be more intentional? Drop a comment. I'd love to know. And if you're enjoying this, hit that like button and make sure you subscribe. We're just getting started. Next, we move into something powerful, something that separates boys from men. 7. Grounded speech. In a world where everyone talks just to be heard, grounded speech is magnetic. It's not about clever lines, it's about how you speak. A Stoic man doesn't rush, doesn't ramble, and doesn't seek approval through words. His voice is calm, his tone steady, and his pacing measured. Every word feels intentional. Research from the University of Chicago shows that vocal tone and delivery impact how people perceive you 38% more than the actual words. So when you speak with calm confidence, without trying to impress, you immediately stand out. Your voice tells her, I don't need to prove myself. I already know my worth. Imagine being on a date, and instead of nervously filling the silence, you pause and speak with composure. That silence, it becomes powerful. It draws her in. She begins to lean forward not just to listen, but because she's feeling your energy. That's grounded speech. Next, talk about something that makes women respect and desire you on a whole different level, powerful boundaries. 8. Powerful boundaries. Most men think being agreeable, flexible, and overly available makes them more attractive. It doesn't. That only makes you look weak. Boundaries are not about being rude. They're about self-respect. A man with boundaries doesn't cancel his goals or time just because she texts. He doesn't tolerate disrespect, even if she's beautiful. And he never lowers his standards out of fear. In a study by Psych Tests, 67% of women said they lose attraction to men who are too emotionally available too quickly, especially when they abandon their priorities. That's not because women don't want love. It's because they want a man who can lead himself first. Let's say she makes a disrespectful joke. The average guy laughs it off, but the Stoic man looks her in the eye and calmly says, don't talk to me like that. No anger, no emotion, just self-respect. And she feels it. That's real masculine energy. If you've ever felt walked over or undervalued, it's time to fix that. Set boundaries not to control others, but to protect your energy. Drop it in the comments if you're ready to start leading from strength. And again, if this is speaking to you, hit that like button and subscribe. Now get ready, Wana, because the final point is where true attraction begins. 9. Emotional mastery. This is the heart of it all. If you want women to be addicted to you, not just physically but spiritually, you need emotional mastery. Most men think women are turned off by emotions. That's false. Women are turned off by emotional instability. Big difference. A man who's calm in chaos, who doesn't react impulsively, who feels without falling apart, that man is magnetic. Dr. Jordan Peterson often points out that men who can regulate emotions well tend to thrive not just in love, but in leadership. Why? Because emotional control is power. In a 2022 study, over 72% of women said calmness in conflict is more attractive than being right in arguments. Think about it. When she tests you emotionally, do you panic? Get angry? Or do you pause, breathe, and respond with control? A Stoic man doesn't bottle up emotions. He processes them. He observes, understands, and then responds with strength. This is what makes women feel safe, respected, and drawn to you. Not because you're cold, but because your inner world isn't controlled by chaos. You're the eye of the storm. Here's your challenge. Next time you're triggered, say nothing for 10 seconds. Feel the emotion, but don't react. Then respond with calm clarity. That moment, that gap between emotion and reaction, is where real masculinity lives. And if this video gave you even a spark of insight, like it, subscribe, and share it with someone ready to stop chasing and start leading. So let's bring it all together. These 9 social skills aren't just about impressing women, they're about mastering yourself. When you build an unshakable presence, controlled eye contact, and confident stillness, you command attention without saying a word. Through purposeful silence and calm reactions, you gain influence without force. When you practice selective attention and grounded speech, you show women that you're a man of depth, not desperation. Then come the pillars: powerful boundaries and emotional mastery. These are where boys are separated from men. When you respect your space and lead with calm, you create safety, strength, and mystery. The very things that make a woman crave your energy. Remember, Stoicism isn't coldness, it's control. And control creates attraction that runs deeper than words. So if you're ready to become the kind of man women don't forget, the one they feel drawn to even in silence, start applying these 9 principles today. And hey, if this message hit home, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment about which point hit you hardest. Thanks for watching. Your journey to real masculine energy has already begun. Keep going, stay grounded, and never stop growing.